Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a deeply fascinating concept I found in the sources called the theory of the original image, or if you're using the original term, one song ron. Now, before we can even begin to understand how our cosmos actually works, these texts suggest we have to start way, way back. We have to look at the first cause. I mean, what if the universe isn't just this cold, empty void, but actually has a heartbeat? It's a pretty radical, mind-bending idea, right? It proposes that the creator is a being of perfect, harmonious structure that acts as the ultimate blueprint for absolutely everything around us. So let's unpack how this all works. Okay, let's dive into this. On the left side here, we have the traditional view of cold physics. You know the one. It paints the universe as this blind, ruthless machine driven purely by fixed equations, just an icy, indifferent block. But the sources introduce this unism paradigm on the right, and it completely flips the script. It suggests that we actually live in a purposefully architected cosmos, one that's driven by an explosive, emotional first cause. It argues that traditional physics basically misses the entire why, that universal impulse for creation in the first place. To really grasp this paradigm shift, here is our roadmap. We're going to start at the absolute highest level with the cosmic blueprint, move into how mind and matter are unified, and uncover the dynamic engine of creation. From there, we'll look at the timeline of the heart-driven cosmos, explore this wild paradox called the human exception, and finally, bring it all right into the modern era by looking at aligning with the cosmos in the age of artificial general intelligence. Starting with Section 1, the cosmic blueprint and the architecture of the first cause. Take a look at this glowing, pristine horizon right here. This represents the origin. You can think of it as the absolute state of the source, a true 0 point that is just bursting with pure potential. Right at this horizon, the spiritual energy required to actually create physical dimensions is generated. And what's driving it? Well, it's not some random quantum fluctuation. It's an uncontrollable creative impulse to share joy and love. It's literally the starting point of the cosmic heart, pulsating with the desire to create an object partner. So what does this actually mean? According to the sources, the theory of the original image asserts that there is a master blueprint for reality. The creator possesses a perfectly unified harmony of divine mind and universal substance. And because of that, it proves the cosmos is not just random chaos, but a meticulously structured extension of that exact same harmony. Moving on to Section 2, let's look at how mind and matter are unified by decoding seungsung and hyungsung. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the sources break down the anatomy of existence. Mind and body, they aren't opposing forces locked in some dualistic battle. They are actually two harmonious expressions of one absolute attribute. On the left, we have seungsung, the invisible spirit and mind, which the text compares to vapor. And on the right is hyungsung, the physical structure, which is compared to ice. It's the exact same fundamental energy, just existing in changing states. Just think about it for a second. Every single human being possesses an invisible mind that completely directs a visible physical body, right? Well, it's an incredible realization that the first cause operates the exact same way. It possesses seungsung, which is its internal nature and emotional vector, and hyungsung, the external form or cosmic prime energy. It's a beautifully unified structural foundation. And when you project this ancient blueprint onto modern astrophysics, the parallels are honestly wild. The sources align seungsung, that expanding emotional energy, with dark energy, which makes up about 71% of our cosmos. Meanwhile, hyungsung, the invisible skeletal structure, corresponds to dark matter at 24%. It strongly implies that the 95% unknown mass of our universe isn't just some mathematical mystery, but a direct empirical projection of these dual characteristics. Which brings us to Section 3, the engine of creation, known as give-and-receive action. Within this whole framework exists another set of dual characteristics you've probably heard of, yang and yin. Original yang acts as the subjective wave of creation. It radiates active energy, literally breathing life into the void. And importantly, the sources note that yang and yin aren't forces of conflict. They definitely aren't good and evil. They are beautiful complementary attributes. Think of light and shadow, or active and receptive, that together provide absolute dynamic balance. And this brilliantly illustrates what they call give-and-take action. Notice the glowing infinity loop here between the subject and object. This idea completely bypasses traditional dialectics, where progress supposedly only happens through violent conflict or zero-sum games.
True cosmic development, according to the text, is a positive-sum dance of existence. It creates entirely new value through unconditional love and energy.
To clearly define this give and receive action, it is the original, totally unselfish rhythm of the universe. It proves that existence itself is fundamentally relational. You simply cannot exist in isolation. This eternal, frictionless exchange generates all the forces needed to keep the cosmos alive and multiplying. It is literally the heartbeat with creation. Let's look at Section 4, the heart-driven cosmos, and the 138 billion years of preparation that got us here. At the absolute apex of the first cause, tucked deep inside the heavy, rigid gears of physical laws, sits Shimjung, which translates to heart. The prime mover of the universe isn't some cold mathematical equation. It is the explosive, emotional desire to share joy. Heart is the shared center of gravity that anchors all of physical reality together. Viewed through this specific lens, our cosmic history becomes a grand educational arrangement. From the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago, to the delicate balancing of entire galaxies, to the formation of planetary systems, this physical environment was painstakingly set up with blood and sweat. It's framed as an immense, beautiful incubator, preparing for the exact moment the universe would become pregnant with life. This perspective gives us two starkly different views of our place in the cosmos. In the Darwinian model, on the left, human beings are just lonely, accidental mutants thrown into a dark, indifferent corner of space. But in the unism paradigm on the right, we are the ultimate inheritors. The universe was a purposeful 13.8 billion-year incubator driven by a parent's desperate heart of weeding, perfectly fine-tuned to elevate humans to the highest possible spiritual dimension. Which leads us perfectly into Section 5, the human exception, and exactly why we are born unfinished. So the crucial point is that this sets up a massive paradox. The macroscopic universe is perfect, right? It's been automated and flawless for 13.8 billion years. Yet humans are born 100% profoundly unfinished. We're just thrust into nature, left to violently collide with our environment through totally vulnerable trial and error. You have to wonder, why not just make us perfect automated robots from the start? The sources suggest it's because moral sovereignty and true life experience simply cannot be automated. According to the equation of cosmic equivalence detailed in the text, 95% of reality is provided to us as cosmic grace. That's the overwhelming physical laws and environmental provision. But it absolutely requires an autonomous 5% of human responsibility. This is our free will. Leaving this 5% blank is not an act of abandonment. It is the greatest evidence of parental love, allowing us to achieve true sovereignty by completing the architecture of reality ourselves. Finally, Section 6, aligning with the cosmos and what this means for the future of AGI. The sources emphasize a concept called the weak anthropic principle, and it's brilliant, really. The idea is that a universe that merely exists is incomplete. Value is never isolated. It only blossoms into its true original value when it meets a human observer equipped with a moral compass. The human and the universe must engage in that beautiful give and receive action for truth, goodness, and beauty to actually manifest in reality. Let's move to and see how this builds when we apply this cosmic blueprint to artificial general intelligence, because it clicks into place perfectly. Human moral intervention is the sungsong, the heart. The AGI's massive processing power is the hyungsong, the cold reality. When human warmth forms a give and receive alignment with digital power, AI transforms from a potential weapon of disruption into a tool that actually anchors universal harmony. This brings us to a profound final thought. If this paradigm holds true, and the universe truly spent 13.8 billion years meticulously preparing a flawless canvas, driven by an emotional desire to share joy with you, how will you choose to use your irreplaceable 5% of free will and responsibility to shape our future? Especially right now, as we step into the age of artificial intelligence, the missing piece of the cosmic architecture is entirely in your hands. Thank you for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and keep asking those big questions.